Welcome to Sam and Sean Talk Truth or Nonsense. In a previous video on how government debt will affect your life, we explained how a growing shortfall between revenues and outlays will trigger some combination of higher inflation, Social Security benefit cuts, higher taxes, and probably higher interest rates. This crisis will be a time of turmoil for sure, but opportunity as well. When circumstances force the public to choose between higher taxes or lower benefits, taxpayers and beneficiaries could be at each other's throats, depending on the extent to which politicians demagogue the issue for political advantage. There also is huge opportunity if the funding crisis creates public receptivity to fundamental Social Security program redesign. Structural reform is a prerequisite for robust, adequate retirement savings for all Americans. If the current Roosevelt-era Social Security programs remain in place, top-down, government-controlled, centralized, tax-financed, then the same result can be expected. Chronic underfunding, citizen dependence on government, and erosion of personal responsibility. Program design starts with asking two questions. Who gets to control the money is number one. And second, what are the incentives? Woodrow Wilson and Franklin Roosevelt started the decades-long transfer of power and responsibility from the people as individuals and families to the government. That process needs to be reversed. The core principle of future reform must be a return of power, control of the money, back to the people for the good of individual citizens and the economic health of our great constitutional republic. There has to be a shift of mind from dependency, entitlement, and victimization to proud insistence on personal freedom and self-reliance, tempered by a commitment to give a hand to those who have come on hard times. As for incentives, the key is to motivate people to want to save and invest prudently. With these principles in mind, what would effective reform of Social Security look like? The specifics will have to be tweaked by experts, but a redesign that would best serve the good of the people should be true to the following rough outline. First, there should be established personal individual ownership of accounts, which can be inherited by heirs. To paraphrase Winston Churchill, nothing so inclines a man to be conservative as having something to conserve. Today, Social Security is nothing but a promise from the government. Second, employees should have the choice of diverting the full 6.2% payroll tax into their personal account in return for giving up any claim on whatever residual government program there might be. Self-employed people should have the choice of putting up to $20,000 a year, indexed for inflation, in a qualified savings account or staying with the government program. Third, eligible investments should be limited to diversified baskets of equities and high-quality bonds, A-rated or better. Fourth, there should be an increase in the minimum age at which people born in various time periods become eligible to begin withdrawing from their retirement savings. Fifth, for people who have not been able to save, there should be a minimum monthly benefit funded by general revenues. Sixth, only legal American citizens should be eligible for participation in a redesigned American Social Security program. There are numerous trade-offs and technical details that would have to be worked out, but the basic principles we describe here provide a sound framework for program redesign. They give each of us control over our own money and an incentive to save. My hope is that we, the people, will choose freedom and personal responsibility over dependence and passivity. Sean, how you doing?
Doing great, Sam. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I feel a little embarrassed because here I am, an old coot, an octogenarian, talking about Social Security reform that won't affect me. But nonetheless, I think the ideas are both necessary and beneficial to the public in two respects. First, under the reforms we discuss, people will own the money put away for them. It won't be a promise. It'll be, this is my money. Mm-hmm. And second, I think that the idea that people will have their own accounts will promote responsibility, concern for the future, an inclination to save. So I think these are all pluses. The minus, and I don't really think this is a minus, is that people will have to count on themselves to provide for their own future. They can't count on the government, namely other taxpayers, to do that. Now, of course, as we say in the video, it's very important to have a minimum monthly benefit indexed to inflation for people who just have bad luck or frankly make stupid decisions. So we don't want to have anybody have nothing. I think this program strikes the right balance. What do you think?
Well, it was, I believe, Plato who said that the consequences of not ruling is to be ruled by lesser men. And frankly, the whole situation feels, in a sense, Roman, especially towards the beginning of the end of the Roman Empire, where people had given away so much of their rights and freedoms for circuses and bread, whereas we have football and, pride parades and those types of things going on. I really think we made a Faustian deal with government at the early part of the 20th century with Franklin Roosevelt's brand New Deal, and things have been in decline ever since.
Yep. Roosevelt said, essentially, give government power and government will take care of you. Well, it doesn't work out that way. We give government power, we give up our freedoms, and the bureaucratic elites that control government do very well, and the rest of us not so well.
Right.
So I think it's time to reverse that. A general theme of our discussions on reforms has been return power back to the people.
And I think hand in hand with that is responsibility. We're returning
Amen.
responsibility back to the people. And there are a lot of people who don't want to deal with it. They don't want the responsibility. They don't want to have to think about it. But, well, too bad for them, because so many of us are tired of being ruled by lesser men.
Amen, brother.
All right, so
thank you.
I'll see you later.
Good job. That was excellent, Sean. That was really good. Well, I'm highly confident that it is a serious problem and has to be addressed forthrightly, and there has to be discussion about this.
Absolutely.
That's my view.
Absolutely.
Thank you.